Hey there guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. This is a quick review of Apollo 11. Do make sure to like, subscribe, and enjoy. So, as the name would suggest, Apollo 11 is a documentary that essentially covers the Apollo 11 mission and talks a little bit more about the technicalities of the mission and less about the characters. There is a little bit of emotion in there, and we'll talk about that in my positive side of this review. But for the most part, this is a very technical documentary, which leads me into my first positive, and that is that this movie is technically brilliant. The way it lays out its shots, there is nothing pleasing about watching this movie. Visually, it looks grimy and it looks messed up. It doesn't look visually pleasing, and that's the whole point. Is that this was not a visually pleasing idea, what these people went through, and so the way they visually portray that is brilliant, and that is my first positive of this review. And watching this documentary, I never felt bored, and what that essentially comes down to is the fact that this documentary has a great structure. The way it lays out the information that it has, it just draws you in with questions and then answers them at the right time. It peaks towards 3/4 into about 10 minutes from the end. It kind of peaks there and answers most questions that you're wondering about. There's a few things here and there that maybe you didn't know, but that does kind of, I am kind of hinting at my negative side of this review. But aside from that, the actual structure, the way they laid out the information that they provided, and the way they set you up with questions that you later had the answer to was just great. I have nothing wrong with that. Let's move on to the negative side of this review. And my first point's actually going to trigger a lot of people. And that actually has to do with the fact that we've seen this information done before and done better. If you've seen the movie First Man, which by the way I really liked, I have it in my top 10 list of 2018. If you don't, that's fine, but I do. Yeah, I think it takes a lot from First Man, but it adds a few things here and there. But for the most part, this is not a fresh documentary. There have been other documentaries and other stories about the First Man, about Apollo 11, and they've been done better. And this just had nothing new to offer. It had no information. When I go watch a documentary, I'm not going to be moved, and I'm not going to be entertained. I'm going to learn. And this documentary just did not do that for me. And personally, I've researched this a lot. I know a lot about the Apollo 11 mission, so personally it did not impact me, but there might be a few people that didn't know anything about that. If you don't know anything about the Apollo 11 movie, then this is a perfect movie for you. But for me personally, I thought this brought nothing new to the table. And if it did, it would have been higher in my ranking, but I just don't think it did much to warrant it being a documentary. That's just my thoughts on it. Just remember, it's all subjective.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you.